Hello, everyone. Today is greatness possible, is what Nietzsche, the great philosopher, once said. I want to expand on top of that because today's topic is procrastination. Why do we procrastinate? Why do we give all these justifications, all these rationalizations? It helps us to understand our motivations. What are we being motivated by? If we are going to be able to understand the why, we can somehow endure the how. Isn't that true? So let's try to understand the dynamics of the influence of what other people say and how our environment shapes us in whether we procrastinate or not. So sometimes there can also be flow moments when you are completely driven, like you're just like ready to take on anything, and you get into that flow naturally. But sometimes it becomes a very big chore. Why is it that way? Yes. So the biggest reason why we procrastinate is because we attach the self-worth our self-worth to the quality of work we produce. That is the biggest reason. And sometimes what we do is we internalize all these standards, these perfect standards. I have done things a certain way in the past, and now I have to live up to it. But let's take an example of a mother. Okay, I used to have really high standards before I became a mom, really high standards for myself before I became a mom. Now, uh, I I realize that something's gotta give, right? I cannot always have the perfect hair, perfect setup, and perfect timing. My dog is going to run into the room any minute. My son is going to come and interrupt me any second. So there is no perfect time for me to record this video. But sometimes I have to lower my standards and get started. What is going to happen? What is the big deal if I fail and somebody comes and interrupts me anyway? I'll pause the video, I'll edit it off, and then restart, right? So that's how you have to be self aware of what is that fear that is stopping you from working on any project. Are you in the approach or avoidance mode? Usually, the brain wants us to be very, very happy and just like complacent wherever we are. So it always tries to drive us into the avoid mode. Let's put that off one more day. Let's put that off like a week. We'll get to it later or something like that, right? So what you can do is one of the very popular ones for procrastination has been talked about is the Pomodoro technique. I'm sure a lot of you who are interested in focus and time management already know what it is, but it is like, okay, work 20 minutes uninterruptedly and then go give yourself like a nice carrot, like a nice bonus. So just watch 10 minutes of something that you want to watch, but only after you have finished this 20 minutes of serious uninterrupted work. So that is one technique, Pomodoro technique. There is also the mindset management from underneath that we have to do, the baseline, right? So as we talked, lower the unrealistic high standards that you have set for yourself. Next, a flexible approach. Let's say you make a mistake in writing a very nice email to your team member. Okay, you make a mistake. What is going to happen? Right? It's not a big deal if you do things to mitigate it. You can be thinking of that mistake as something to learn from, a lesson to be learned from, or it's okay, you're open to feedback, right? So these are some of the adaptive behaviors that we can adopt in our life that can make us not be terrified about the task in front of us. So let's wrap it up with these few ideas. So self-compassion, having a flexible mind, and ready to learn and receive feedback about our um, mistakes. Next, I like one thing that Seth Godin says. He says, if you want to be a writer, show me your bad writing. Because practice, practice, practice. Be ready to face your fears. And of course, the most important thing, the power of compound effect. Literally, the big things are the small things that you keep doing to make that big thing happen. And don't look at your project as a very big monster in front of you, but chunk it down little by little, little by little. Keep making progress because consistency is the key. And I like to give this example a lot. If you don't brush your teeth every day, what will happen after 6 months? And that 2 minutes of brushing today makes a difference in the long term. But if you skip, it's just 2 minutes, I can skip. It's just 2 minutes, I can skip. And 6 months you skip, what will happen at the end of 6 months? Right? And the next most important thing is post conflict emotion. Look at if you are putting something away and just doing something else that is not important, what will happen when the deadline is approaching? How will you feel about it? That's what I want you to think about. And finally, spontaneity. If you feel like doing it, do it right away, because there is no better time than to start. Show up, do it. I will leave you with this quote. I just love it. I'm a huge fan of Nelson Mandela. And he says, may our choices reflect our hopes and aspirations for the future and not our fears. So get ready and take on your biggest challenge. Good luck.